Here's your wrestling news for December 9th, 2020. And your headlines for today include: Kenny Omega drops a shocking statement on Impact Wrestling. AEW has plans for Sting to wrestle. AEW President Tony Khan appears on Impact Wrestling, hints at buying the company. The Rock has stipulations before agreeing to WWE WrestleMania return match. Another former World Heavyweight Champion is considered as Roman's opponent for WrestleMania 37. Big E not in consideration for big WWE WrestleMania match. CM Punk reveals what it would take for him to get back to wrestling again. WWE dropped a possible return tease during Raw you might have missed. Sonya Deville isn't happy with WWE, takes a shot at Lana. CM Punk gets controversial with Zelina Vega and John Cena, and more. We're kicking off today with Kenny Omega as the AEW World Champion made history by appearing on Impact Wrestling last night alongside Impact's Executive VP Don Callis. Speaking about his controversial title win in an interview with Josh Matthews on a private bus, Omega was brimming with confidence 6 days after his title win and seemed much more like his old, cleaner self. In the interview, Omega compared his win to his hobby of collecting comic books and spoke about how he considered the AEW Championship the Action Comics #1 of titles, with that particular comic being the most valuable and most sought-after comic of all time. He explained, "The Action Comics #1, that's Superman's debut by the way. I don't mind if I have X-Men #1 in my collection, the AAA title. I don't mind if I add a Spider-Man #1 to my collection, who knows, maybe that's the Impact Championship. You guys have a great champion, right?" It's certainly interesting that Omega addressed the Impact Championship, which is currently held by Rich Swann, and it's possible we could see the two face off down the line, possibly even in a title-for-title match. Whatever happens, Omega is clearly pleased with himself as a belt collector, and whilst he'll never hold the WWE World Championship or Universal title, it seems the cleaner is happy with what he considered the most sought-after title in all of wrestling. Omega's win last week wasn't the only big news from AEW Dynamite, as Sting sent shockwaves in the company when he debuted during Winter is Coming, and there could be big plans as part of his multi-year contract with the company. Although it's been reported that Sting won't be getting physical and isn't expected to take many bumps, that could be the endgame for the Hall of Famer, as Sports Illustrated are reporting that even at his advanced age, there's still plans for Sting to eventually wrestle in an AEW ring. The Stinger will be on Dynamite tonight for an interview with Tony Schiavone, and although any plans for him to wrestle are a long way off, going by the looks he gave Cody and Darby Allin, the former world champion may already be scouting for opponents. Impact Wrestling news next, as this week's show saw Tony Khan appear alongside Tony Schiavone, and aside from a few backstage cameos, this marks Khan's first full on-air appearance for a wrestling promotion's programming. Appearing in a throwback-style paid advertisement for AEW, Khan sarcastically commented on Kenny Omega appearing on the show, despite being the new AEW World Champion. He said, "I understand that the brand new AEW World Champion Kenny Omega is going to be here on this show tonight, so I thought I would join him. If I wanted to stop at Tony, I absolutely could. I could file an injunction. I could tell Kenny he's in breach of contract, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, I thought I would actually help fund the show via this ad, because I think it's going to help. It's going to help the budget, it's going to help the bottom line, and hopefully it helps promote AEW to have our champion on this show." Khan also plugged tonight's edition of Dynamite, which will include Orange Cassidy vs MJF for the Dynamite Diamond Ring, as well as the Young Bucks vs the Hybrid 2. Addressing the tag division directly, Khan teased making some big changes, both to the roster and Impact as a whole. "Some of these teams around here, maybe I'll come check them out," Khan said. "In fact, I have some investments in Nashville. There's some rumors I might even buy Impact Wrestling." Speaking about Schiavone's brief tenure with Impact, the AEW commentator said he spent one night in the then TNA, then had to quit the business for 18 years. Concluding with a plug for Sting's interview tonight and an invitation for Don Callis to join Kenny Omega on Dynamite, this was certainly a huge moment for both companies, which even saw Impact use footage from Omega's AEW World title win on Dynamite as part of their broadcast. There's a world of possibilities now that AEW and Impact are seemingly on the same page, and Vince McMahon will need to start producing some good product or risk having even more viewers change the channel. Back to WWE, as WrestleMania 37 is slowly taking shape, with plans being rumored for the show, and one name the company would love to have compete is The Rock. The Brahma Bull hasn't competed officially since his win over Eric Rowan at WrestleMania 32, and whilst there's a chance that he could return for one last, longer match, it'll reportedly be under some very specific conditions. Ringside News are reporting that The Rock has only agreed to return if there are live fans present, which currently isn't a possibility thanks to the ongoing situation. A source close to the situation also addressed the rumored Rock vs. Roman Reigns match, saying there's no plans at all for the Tribal Chief and reigning Universal Champion to lock horns with his cousin, and there are several, quote, written commitments preventing this match from happening. It was also reported that The Rock and Vince McMahon are keeping in communication just in case things change, and whilst there's the chance that fans could see the People's Champion have one more match, right now, there's no big talks of The Rock's return. Whilst the Brahma Bull won't be challenging Reigns at WrestleMania, there's no shortage of talented full-time superstars who could face the Tribal Chief, but apparently, Big E isn't on that list. With rumors of The Rock vs. Reigns at WrestleMania seemingly dead, the same source within WWE was asked about the rumors of a Big E push for Mania and a possible match against Reigns, but was quick to refute those claims. The source said that, quote, Big E's name has never, not once, ever been mentioned as a WrestleMania opponent, and described the rumors of him facing Reigns at WrestleMania 37 as a story plucked from thin air. And from a report by Wrestle Talk, a Goldberg match has been discussed for Reigns, as they didn't have their collision at WrestleMania 36, which ultimately saw Braun Strowman capture the Universal title from Goldberg at the Show of Shows. Wrestle Talk are reporting that The Rock remains WWE's favorite to face the Tribal Chief, but clearly that's very unlikely to happen for multiple reasons. From one former world champion to another, as CM Punk remains a favorite to many, even nearly 7 years after walking out of WWE. With his last match being the 2014 Royal Rumble, fans have been hoping to see him back, and during an appearance on Renee Paquette's Oral Sessions podcast, Punk was asked about what it would take to make him return. He replied, without wanting to insult anybody on either side of the fence, any WWE talent or AEW talent, it would take above all an interesting scenario. A story that would be fun to tell. Also, just the stupidest amount of money. But they could save themselves a whole lot of money if they just presented a fun storyline. Now, what that is, I don't know. I'm a pretty picky guy, especially at this point. The fact that he addressed WWE and AEW certainly turned some heads, and Punk explained why he could choose to be All Elite in the near future. I think there's more interesting people on the AEW side of things for me to wrestle, but that's just because I've never wrestled them before. Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, talking about your husband, I look at that and I go, well, I wrestled him already, so it's just less interesting than something new. On the WWE side of things, I don't know that there's anybody there currently that I haven't wrestled that I would be interested in wrestling. Whilst he hasn't returned to the ring, Punk did make a shocking return to WWE as part of WWE Backstage last year, serving as a special contributor, though at the time, Punk was employed by Fox Sports, not WWE. At 42 years old, time is running out for Punk if he wants to have a lengthy return to the ring, and we'll have to see whether it's clobberin' time one last time in either promotion. Now, we previously reported that Samantha Deville, aka Candy Cartwright, has filed a lawsuit against WWE, Matt Riddle, and Evolve, seeking $10 million from each defendant over claims that the original Bro forced himself on her, and both companies were aware of this. Now Riddle is looking to end this situation, as according to PW Insider, the original Bro filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit on December 3rd, and this was brought to the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Illinois. As part of his filing, Riddle admits to an affair he had with Deville outside his marriage, but denied committing any non-consensual acts against her. The filing also claims that Deville had a hard time accepting the end of the relationship, and that Riddle changed his phone number to avoid her calls more than once, and adds that Riddle had no control over her employment relationship with Evolve or WWE. This is far different to what Deville is claiming, as she said that she lost work as an extra for WWE when Riddle told the company not to hire her, and will provide an update on this ongoing case as more details come out. Back to the ring, and in September, it was reported that Eva Marie signed a deal with WWE to return, and whilst we haven't seen her face on screen, we may have seen her hand this week. During Raw, one segment possibly teased Eva's return, as Angel Garza posted another promo this week, and after speaking to the camera, a hand reached out and grabbed the rose he offered to this unseen woman. On Tuesday morning, mere hours after Raw aired, Eva Marie shared an Instagram post which saw her holding red roses, just like what Garza had offered. It's possible the fans are reading too much into this, but it's possible this could be how WWE brings Eva Marie back to TV. And we'll have to keep our eyes open for any more signs of an on-screen relationship between Eva and Garza. If you've been a wrestling fan for long enough, you probably have quite the collection of merchandise, from shirts and figures to more expensive items like championship belts. Now, WWE is giving fans a chance to show off their merchandise collections, as the WWE Universe Twitter account asked fans to get in touch with their most prized wrestling possessions. Seeing this, Matt Cardona replied with a sarcastic LOL, as the former Zack Ryder is known for his merchandise collection, specifically with rare wrestling figures, which WWE had no real interest in when he and Curt Hawkins were with the company. If you have a great piece of WWE merchandise, now's your chance to show it off, and time will tell what this is all leading to for WWE. We are looking back to SummerSlam 2020, as Sonya Deville hasn't been seen since losing her Loser Leaves WWE match, but clearly the former MMA fighter still watches the product. This week, the Slammy Award nominees were revealed, and when Mandy Rose expressed disappointment that her feud with Deville has been snubbed for Rivalry of the Year, Deville responded saying they got beat out by a table. This is referring to one nominee being Lana versus the announcers tables, though Deville didn't stop there, saying she should be nominated for Breakout Star of the Year as well. Instead of Deville, the Breakout Star Slammy will go to either Dominic Mysterio, Bianca Belair, Otis, the Street Profits, or Murphy, and we'll have to wait and see who takes home the statue at the Slammies on December 23rd. One man who knows all about winning Slammies is John Cena, but the golden statue isn't the only accolade handed to him over arguably more deserving talent by WWE. That's according to CM Punk, who spoke on Oral Sessions and revealed a story of an anonymous superstar being offered a television role, but when WWE's head office found out, they quickly refused to allow the superstar to take the role, but gave it to John Cena instead. Punk added that the company would literally take every single request given to any WWE talent and funnel it to who they wanted to be the face of the company, but said that THQ did get their way when they wanted the Chicago-made star on the cover of WWE 13 instead of Cena. With Cena pretty much gone from WWE, hopefully this gives other superstars a chance to flex their muscles out of the ring, whilst the 16-time WWE World Champion is more than capable of forging his own path in Hollywood. That wasn't all Punk had to say on Oral Sessions though, as he also spoke about the Zelina Vega situation, whilst getting controversial about a certain current superstar. Addressing Vega's unceremonious firing for taking third-party deals, Punk mentioned Xavier Woods, saying that the New Day star petitioned successfully to get a job with G4, and questioned why he can do that, but Vega can't have a Twitch. Punk does raise a good point, though said he doesn't know Woods too well, and sees him as a good wrestler, and whilst Vega is focusing on herself for the time being, we'll have to see what she does next after her 30-day non-compete clause is up.